an echinopsis, but in actual fact, the flower is totally different, so I don't know how they can do that, but hey, I'm no expert, I'm not a biologist, I'm just a very keen hobbyist. But yeah, cute flowers. And another echinopsis, or what we call Cerensias, with a really purplish sort of tint to the flower, to purplish red, I guess. It's very hard to photograph once the sun comes out because the colour is so intense. At this time of morning you can get a decent photograph of it.
Beautiful.
And then up here behind us you can see what's going to happen with the flowers in the next couple of weeks. There's a couple of flowers on our super Pedro.
You can see all the buds here.
See all the buds.
These are about to open.
Oh, John, there's a
Hey
few
Facebook, is audio back now? No, it's still working on Instagram.
We've only got Instagram, have we?
No, we're back on Facebook, but I just wanted to make sure the audio was working again.
Yep. And you can see some over here where cuttings have fallen off, but there's enough energy in the cutting that the cuttings are still flowering.
Wow. Yes, audio is back. Perfect. Thank you, Steph. Thanks, Lyndon. And there was a question on Instagram earlier when we were having difficulties. Just going back to find it.
What's the
we
question,
can hear,
guys?
We can hear everything. Where is it? Can these be planted in a slope, dry soil, east facing? And that was a reference when we were back in the
Depends
last trail.
which part of the world are you from?
So this is HT Joe Hannah. If you're still online, which part of the world are you from?
Because the different hemispheres are different.
Yep. Yeah, I imagine east. Yeah, true. All right, we'll see if she responds. I'll get back to you. Bradley Dry sails in.
Hi, Bradley.
We're headed to Trico Land.
Lots of coloured flowers just around.
Hey mate, from Brad.
J18 with their enormous spikes in there, John. Got a couple of flowers happening now. J5 behind flowering. Benny, Cactus Country Benny having another flowering. I've bred a few hybrids in the pollination house with this one again this year, a few different ones. Trichocereus boleanus over here, guys. Flowering with their big flowers. Give you an idea
Massive.
how big they are, these flowers. I've got a pretty big hand, so that gives you an idea of how big those flowers are.
Hear the happy buzzing of the bees. That's
Bees
nice.
are very happy. And let's do the bushwalk, John.
The bushwalk. Don't fall over.
These are Oreocereus here are really starting to grow now and get a good bit of size into them.
Can't believe the difference in video quality between Instagram and Facebook. Instagram's way better.
And I guess just to finish,
The Cactus Cartel. Hey guys, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. That's lovely.
round this way, John. You can see the buds on the San Pedro here. Trichocereus pachanoi is its proper name, but it's commonly known as San Pedro.
And this will erupt in flowers in what, 2 or 3 weeks now?
A week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yep.
It'll be just one night, it'll be just covered.
Miguel Stilmano. Do you know him?
Big Well, how are you, Big
Yeah,
Well?
I thought we knew him. So yeah, looking good, Jim. He's on Facebook. Chrissy Harris, I'm so coming back to see this. Thank you so much.
There's lots more flowers, as you can see through this orange section here. Unfortunately this year, guys, there used to be 2 big cacti there. We've lost them.
Wait, I'll go behind you so that people can see where you're pointing.
Over there were 2 huge cacti. They're now gone, but we're going to have lots of plants to be replanted. But unfortunately, with all the wet weather we've had, the ground got loose and they went down. So from every bad story, there's a good story. We'll have lots of plants of them.
Oh, look at how big. Is this Chilensis?
This is Trichocereus chiloensis. I think it's a Benson's, what they call Benson's chiloensis, but I'm not an expert. So, and the interesting thing is that this year we've got some seed pods set.
Best thing I've seen all day. Thanks, Lucy.
Up there, John, you can see the seed pods. We've never ever got seed off this. So this year in the big flowerings and all the different hybrids, something has crossed with it for the first time.
Wow.
And it's been flowering for about 10 years. And this year is its most prolific flowering. There's just lots of flowers because of the wet winter and the cool start to summer or late spring, I guess.
Don't tell Brad, he'll just want seed. Chic pink, that's pretty cool.
That's chic pink. Yes. Wild seed, the 2 there, Brad.
Wild seed, Brad. Interesting. Love ST asked, do we have any saguaro? So we might head over there because the saguaro is just flowering at the moment.
We'll do that another day.
I'll take them over when you finish.
We could do a walk over there later today when it's
wide open.
They're flowering. I think the first flowers might be out there today, and we'll pick up the.
Well, the flowers have been out for a few days.
Yeah, but we'll pick up Echinopsises.
Sure.
Cainocereses, I should say, and the pharaohs with their flowers open, whereas at this time of day they're not open yet.
Yeah.
So you don't get a good. This here is J16.
Or Jim's Special.
Or Jim's Special. And you can see here the blue colour, and a lot of the people who grow them inside, it is a beautiful blue plant.
Yeah, where it doesn't get hit by the sun and the weather. John from Melbourne says, just amazing.
And you can see our special Cereus here, hybrid. And you can see even on the new ones where it's growing, you can see these amazing aerial formations where they're just all clumped together, and there's no, I've never ever seen double aerials before on a plant, on a cereus or on anything, just double aerials everywhere.
So that's what he means by a double.
See how we've got 2, 1 each side, and then 2, 1 each side, and these ones are split a bit apart. And then on the new growth, it comes looking normal, and then all of a sudden it'll shoot. See here, this is going to be a double. Where they're splitting, that's got it's wide. It's about 1 centimetre wide, that aerial.
Cactus Cartel, wow.
So this will be a plant that will be we'll be cutting up for growing more, so that you guys out there who collect cacti can see. So here's one here where we've got 3 aerials stitched together. And then same down here, but in a round on the end of the tubercle. And over here we've got 4 or 5 on the end of the tubercle.
Amazing. Oh, look at this yellow. Is this a Sorensia?
Yes, that's a Sorensia. There's quite a few odd flowers through them still.
God, even the colour difference.
Bradley!
Brad?
Are you there, Bradley?
Brad, you still here?
Now,
that looks like it's dangerously close to falling over. JP15.
no, it's not. JP15, we need to probably put a big stone there, John, but this is one of my best hybridizers because hybrid plants for breeding with, because look at the size of this flower. It's enormous. It's bigger than my hand, which that's at least 20 something, 25 probably wide. And when it's got room to open out, it's a prolific flower, and it's really developing thickness in the stem now. That's about 25 to 30 across. And this thing readily hybridizes. So I collect wild seed and I do some breeding in the past with it. When it settles down with the flowering, I'll do some more.
Brad says nice, it's massive.
And then
And
this one
Nathan
behind,
from Sydney says, looks amazing. Thanks, mate.
this one behind is JP13, which is similar. I call them validus types because they're very similar to Field's validus and other people's validuses, but I think they're going to have thicker trunks because of the terschekii that's in them. So they're going to end up getting quite thick, but they just grow that girth slowly as they get more growth on them.
Guys, we're going to go live for another 5 or 10 minutes here, so if you want to invite anyone across to see this, feel free.
And then over here, we've got our JP. Where'd the number go, John? JP31 anyway, but it's a very long spiked validus type. It's got small, thin spikes, but the central spike's very, very long. On some places, they're about 150. So we're hoping that this flowers soon.
Victoria from Trinidad, welcome. Where is everyone from? Is everyone from Australia or is there a lot from overseas?
And this is JP33, which is another validus type, but very clumpy. It's following the Echinopsis cross where it gets lots of pups on it. But as you can see, it's going to be tall and vigorous. And then the final one in that group, and there's lots of buds on the JPs. This is the one that's named after John, I think. No, this is Papa John. Big John's down there. This one's named after my father. He had 6 children, and look, it sets lots of seeds. So.
I thought you meant because it was always lying down on the job.
Possibly. We've got a little treat to probably end almost on here.
Tony Davey, I like that JP33 a heap.
Yes, it does look nice.
Oh wow, Central Coast, Mullumbimby, Shepparton, Australia, Newcastle, Melbourne, El Dorado, Melbourne. Wow, thanks guys.
JP25 guys, 2nd year flowering, and it's flowering prolifically this year. It only had about half a dozen flowers last year, but this year it's got lots of flowers and lots of growth because of the wet winter. So it's really put on. There is a hint right throughout this plant of variegation. It just does this sort of thing every now and again on the side. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realise with variegation is sometimes it takes years with a plant like this for the variegation to actually colour up and show. But you can see the green is a yellowy green, and then you've got dark green. So this is not a proper what I call a glow variegation where the whole plant is yellowish. It's sort of in between where there's just a light discoloration to the whole plant.
Interesting. Watch where you go.
We're going to have a look at Jim's Big Red because it's flowering today, and you can see how incredible this plant is.
How do I keep the cockatoos away from my cactus by Chrissy Harris?
Yell at them, scream at them every time you see them, and after a while they won't come.
Yeah, so like...
loud noise, scare them off.
And they especially like trichos.
Yes, they love the tops of trichos.
Yeah. So
and
even
you
if
can spray a bit of really hot pepper on them, and that will deter them also.
Yeah.
Where they've been eating it, because they'll come back and eat from the same spot.
The Cactus Cartel on Instagram, I want to frolic safely through the cactus gardens. Today's the day though, isn't it?
And this is Jim's Big Red. And sometimes when you do breeding, guys, you get really, like one of your crosses comes out beyond your expectations. So this is a bit like Trichocereus volianus back there, where you got the big white flowers and it falls down and spreads. But the only difference is it's got the spikes of a lobivia, or the spination of a lobivia, but it's got these lovely big red flowers. And you can see by, if John moves back a bit, that the plant, which is the same age as everything else around here, has spread to a fairly large proportion with nice big thick stems. And then as it sits and lies down on the ground, it's developing new ones and shooting up.
Squeak Freeman's tuned in, and Warren was here on Wednesday.
Hi Squeak. Hi Warren. Great day here.
Welcome to the club, Squeak.
One of the ground Trichocereus is here flowering. I think I'm only going to take a stab, don't shoot me if I'm wrong. Carmiguensis, I think, but could be totally wrong.
Go on, Squeak, what do you reckon this one is? Brad, you there? What's this one? I want to see if we can catch him out. Problem is, he's always bloody right.
And you can see the wall of white here.
The Cactus Cartel said that red is so vibrant and stunning.
Yes, it's one of my favourites. I don't have favourites, but
Wait, is that why you named it after yourself?
No. When you do breeding, guys, you've got to put a name on something, and often the first thing you come to, like I've got another one which has a beautiful, even bigger red flower than that, and that was just Jim's fat one. And then, because you've got to write something on the tag, otherwise you don't know, and you've got to make sure we did about 300 crosses that year, and you've got to make sure that it sticks in your mind which one it is.
Yeah, well, Bradley said I just look at the label, and Squeak said Theolongus.
Pelagonus.
Pelagonus, there you go.
Yeah, it possibly is. It's got to be one of them.
Now, is this
This is Joylene's Corner.
Joylene's Corner, thank you.
These plants in here came from Joylene. There's a selection of fields and a shit pink over here. Fields WK here, which is the plant that was on my page, I think.
Yeah.
And you can see how it lies down on the ground, but it's much thicker than the red flower one that we've just looked at. It's got the Trichocereus flower happening, but look how thick this down here is. And if you drip water onto it for the whole summer, it will get really, really thick and grow quite a bit.
Warren Pennis said, I thought if you introduced large boulders at the base of large cacti, it would stop them from falling over, particularly in clay soils. Just an observation. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Donate us some money and we'll put some big boulders in.
Yeah, like, yeah, I think I want about 200,000, mate. That'll be good. Because it will be extremely difficult to get them in now.
Yeah.
Because this was planted and they were all little.
Yeah.
And they grew so much, so quick.
And that's the problem. Part of the problem is actually that they've grown so fast for their root zone size.
Yeah.
And that there isn't like a bedrock underneath that they can grip to.
This is an ex-orchard, and in 2010, 2012, we had very wet summers, which brought the, what do they call it, the grape disease out, and it got into the roots of all the plants, and nearly all the plants lost all their roots. Phytophthora. So
yeah.
Phytophthora got into the roots of the plants, and it virtually destroyed all the roots on all the cacti in the garden for 2 to 3 years. And then by feeding lots of nutrient back, we've managed to get restart. But what happens with the plants that are really big, the woody section in the center? So these plants have a woody taproot that, you know, might go this far down, and then the roots run off like that. And because of that, if that gets infected, that wood, then when it rots, the plant doesn't have enough strength for the size of what is above, to hold it, and that's when they just snap. It gets really wet. They put on a big burst of growth, and the weight above the ground becomes too much with a slight lean, and that's where the boulder would help them, but it won't save them from rotting. And we've had boulders in place in a couple, and they just took the boulders out.
Yeah. The Cactus Cartel are asking, are the borders open yet? Can we come visit from the Central Coast?
Yes.
I believe they can, can't they?
Yes, they can.
If anybody in
Look,
here
guys,
knows, let us
know.
know.
The big rule at the moment is, I think, double vax.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the big rule. We can't have people here legally who aren't double vaxxed.
Big fines.
So, our business would suffer a huge fine if we're caught with people here who aren't double vaxxed or have exemption certificates.
Yep.
So,
and that's all we need to say.
That's it. It's the law.
It's not our doing.
It's the law.
We don't care, really. Same problem happened at Dawson's Garden in Bendigo.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
only theirs happened many years ago.
Yeah, and their plants were huge compared to some of ours, weren't they? God, I remember going there as a kid and they were massive. Maybe it's just because
Dawson's is still big. Dawson's, the big plants there. Fields had virtually lost all their plants in the floods of the 70s and the 80s, and they had to cut them and replant and buy back a collection from elsewhere, I believe.
Yep.
I'm not an expert on it though. So that's about it, guys. So for those of you who want to, around about, what is it now, John?
It's 9:52.
Around about 4 hours from now, we might do another video from the other section of the garden.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Yeah, maybe about 2 p.m. The flowers will all be out and we can have a wander. Maybe the lunch hour, but John will put up something on.
Do a quick ad. We're looking for staff.
Yeah.
Just product placement right here.
Hard-working people who don't mind being stabbed with cacti.
Not intentionally.
No, not intentionally. We don't whip our staff with cactus here. I guess occasionally I might think about it.
Yeah.
But more than likely what's going to happen is I'll get stabbed with them.
So what are we after? We're after chefs, hospitality, landscaping, building, construction, just to name a few. So if you've got skills and you want to work here,
it's much better if you've got most of those tasks, most of those areas covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
All-rounders will be amazing. All right, awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Yeah, this weekend is a very special weekend if you can get here. So hopefully we will see you soon.
There will be flowers in coming weeks, only they will change from all these coloured flowers to...
Mostly whites.
Turn around there, John.
Most of these will be white flowers.
The trichocereas all start flowering now. But you'll have a big burst and then a week later another big burst. So that's how it goes with them.
Yeah.
But
we get a bit of a white Christmas too.
And then around about Christmas, the cereuses will start flowering.
These are cereus here.
You can see there's hardly any buds on them now. There's the odd one coming in, the monstrose one there. But they will start to bud up and we'll get heaps of flowers on those.
All right, we're out. See you guys.